The Director General of FAO, Dr. Gu Dongyu, and Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Josiah Boringe Banjimarama, Honorable Attorney General and the Minister for Economy, Public Enterprise, Civil Service, Communications, Honorable Ayaz Said Qayyum, Ministers from the Pacific, Caribbean, Atlantic, and Indian Ocean states, President, 76th session of the UN General Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Abdullah Sahid, Administrator of UNDP, Mr. Akim Steiner, FAO Assistant Director General and Regional Representative for Asia and the Pacific, Mr. Yongjing Kim, Assistant Director General for Latin America and Caribbean, Mr. Julio Badug, Assistant Director General and Representative for Africa, Mr. Ebebe Haile Gabriel, FAO Sub-Regional Coordinator in the Pacific, Ms. Jiangjung Yao, Excellencies, distinguished heads of states, ladies and gentlemen, Bulavinaka, and a very good afternoon to you all. I'm privileged to be here this afternoon to deliver the closing remarks on behalf of the Government of Fiji as co-host to the 2021 SIDS Solution Forum. Before I proceed, I must thank each one of you for your tireless attendance and positive contribution throughout the two-day discussion and deliberations. I know you will all agree with me that the forum was indeed a success, identifying all avenues that could be achieved through power of digitalization and innovation to fast-track development of sustainable agri-food system and secure well-being and livelihood of our next generation. However, we must note that not all countries are at the same level of digitalization. We must identify the constraints and share our technical expertise to ensure we all grow together and achieve parity in all levels of digitalization across all SIDS. Ladies and gentlemen, through our engagement, we identify the best pathway to SDG through effective recovery from the profound impact of COVID-19, allowing us to build back greener and better. We identify homegrown solutions and harness innovation using digitalization as a force multiplier that can accelerate the process. The forum showcased to us examples of innovation and digitalization for better agriculture, improved nutrition and health, strengthening our adaptation to climate change and resilience. And with our own experience, we share our knowledge, recommending best way forward to achieving the 2030 agenda. It is apparent that a lot of SIDS have been developing its tourism sector and have seen strategic advantage in this sector. Tourism sector has indeed played a critical and defining role in these countries' growth and development. However, as evident from the current pandemic, tourism has its own limitations. We cannot abandon some of our other sectors in which we have strategic advantage. These include the primary sectors, our forestry, fisheries, and agriculture. These sectors require low levels of skill, can produce primary goods which can be manufactured into products, and utilizes the most abundantly available factor intensively. The demand for output from these sectors will never fall, and thus a demand-driven approach to boosting extraction, production and supply will indeed work. Our agriculture sector requires mechanization and technology introduction to raise efficiency and productivity, as well as address some of the critical binding constraints such as labor shortages. We need to work hard towards changing mindset and introduce organic fertilizers so that we can differentiate our produce in the export market and acquire much higher returns. Our large endowment of EEZs amongst most SIDS places us in a strategic position for supply of blue foods. We must collectively mobilize our resources to protect the EEZ from unsustainable practices. We cannot break the ranks and allow our EEZ to be exploited, as it will affect us all given the migratory nature of ocean species. Our forest resources must be utilized for our growth and development. Our current generation needs improvement in their quality of life. However, we must all forge a SIDS movement for replanting and expansion of our genetic biodiversity. Whenever we deal with our resource extraction, we must address the issue of intergenerational equity. Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward that the collaboration and partnership we have nurtured in the last 2 days is just the beginning of our future association and engagement that will promote our transformation towards the sustainable development goals. In addition, I want to reiterate the sentiment shared by Honorable Prime Minister in closing the high-level segment that we cannot work in isolation. We must scale up our efforts to work in partnership with funding agencies, donors, and anyone that can help us accelerate, incubate, and bring these innovations and solutions to life. This forum is the right platform to spearhead these critical actions that lead to meaningful changes and will change our life for the better. Ladies and gentlemen, before I close, I would like to thank UNFAO and my colleagues from the government of Fiji, in particular our Permanent Secretary for Agriculture at the Ministry of Agriculture, for coordinating and organizing this very important conference. These are challenging times for all of us, but we can conquer and overcome by working together. On that note, I thank you again for your attendance and look forward to the final report of the conference that will guide our bid to achieve our regional and global agenda through innovation and digitalization. I wish you all the best and hope to continue our partnership. Thank you, Naka and Dhanyavad. Nisama Vemana.